Well, hello everybody, and welcome. My name is Stephen the Jupiterian here with a new video for you. Actually, um, yes, today is November 4th, and I'm going to go over what the week from November 3rd, yesterday, to the rest of the week until the 8th of November. So, all right. So here we go. I'm going to pull up my hold on. Of course, we're already having technical issues. Of course. There we go. All right. I'm going to pull up my Astro Gold professional software here for okay, I have January 10th up, but let's change that to today. Actually, let's move this in a day. Yesterday. Yesterday, Mars was at 29 degrees of Scorpio and Venus 26 degrees of Libra, the Sun at 11 degrees of Scorpio, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces retrograde. They're both retrograde in Pisces. You have the Moon in Aries, had the Moon in Aries, Venus in Cancer, and that's, oh, so actually let's move this to today, the 4th. Mars recently moved into Sagittarius along with Mercury. Well, Mercury has been here for a while in Sagittarius, right? Yes. Yesterday, Mercury was in Sagittarius, and now it's 5 degrees and 15 minutes of Sagittarius. So let's get me out of the way. All right. Capricorn rising right now. The ascendant is at 7 degrees, 55 minutes at this time at 11:04 a.m. The moon is now in Taurus. Uranus is still retrograde at 0 degrees. And Uranus will be changing signs this week. So will Venus. And Mars already has. So we will go into November 5th. Not much has changed. The degrees of planets. Venus is still in Libra. The moon is still in Taurus. Mars at 0 degrees, 53 minutes of Sagittarius. Let's move this to the 6th. Mars. Well, actually, all right, let's move this into hours. Venus enters Scorpio on Thursday, the 6th. Yes. Pacific Standard Time. Though this would be 3:05 p.m., around 3:05 p.m. Let's move this into minutes. To something. 2:40 p.m. Huh. 2:40 p.m. Venus moves into Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio. Well, is Venus is in detriment. Venus is now in exile, her exile in Scorpio. Venus is still Venus, but she's in detriment, and she is um, not in great condition. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do with Venus. Venus will take on some scorpionic uh, traits, going deep, being very deep into Venusian themes such as love, pleasure, desire, artistic ability, and it could be money as well, but yeah. Um, so I'm gonna stop my share and all right, I'll get back to this chart. Sorry about that. All right. You're okay. You see the chart. Yay. Participants can now see your application. Yay. So let's go on to Friday, the 7th. Whoops. Days. The 7th. Planets haven't moved, changed the sun, into any signs, but they've changed. Venus is moving 1 degree at 1 degree now in 15 minutes. The sun at 15 minutes 46 bits there. Mars is at 2 degrees. Mercury is at 6 degrees. Now, Saturday, the 8th of November. Mercury is at 6 degrees. Mars is at 3 degrees. The moon is in Cancer. Right? Yes. The moon was in Gemini on the 7th and the 6th. Yep, 7th. And then the 8th, the moon will be in Cancer, where she is in her domicile. Yay. We'll be feeling more nurtured or nurturing. And yes, these moon and Jupiter are in Cancer. Jupiter is an exaltation. He is happy in this sign. And um yeah. He's happy in this sign. Venus is in the ninth house. So for Pisces rising, well, yeah. So if you're Pisces rising, this is what your chart looks like. Uranus is now in Taurus on November 8th. Let's move this into hours. Yes. So I'm sorry. Uranus, Uranus, Uranus is November 8th or late November 7th. If you're on the west coast. Huh. November 7th. Uranus. Okay. Let's move this back another hour. 6, 5. There you go. So it's 6 in the evening hours. Um, on the West Coast, 6:41, 40-ish. Yeah. Let's move that back a minute. When exactly does Uranus on the 7th, Friday? Yes. There we go. Boop and bloop. At 6:20 p.m. on the West Coast. So that's 9:20 p.m. on the East Coast. Uh, late during the day overseas. So there you go. There you have it. Uranus retrograded back into Taurus on November 7th. Let's move this into a day ahead. What else is changing? So that would be November 8th, 7th, 8th. And then, so November 8th. Let's move it over the day, the 9th. Why not? And then we'll go to the 10th. Since today is Tuesday, so a week from today, all the planets are have changed, shifted again. We have a crazy shift of Uranus back into Taurus. And then we can go by weeks. So let's see. November 17th. By November 22nd, the sun will be in Sagittarius. Right, yes. The 21st. Right. Of November. Friday, November 21st. The sun moves into Sagittarius. The moon will be in Sagittarius. We'll have a new moon. And we're having a full moon tomorrow on the 8th. Correct. Yes. We're having a full moon in a day. Yeah. Yes. See, the moon is, and it's a super full moon. Taurus, super moon, full moon. So, yes, so we have this full moon on Wednesday. November 5th in Taurus. So I'm going to do a short video for this full moon. But yeah, that's happening on the 5th tomorrow. Today is the 4th. Tomorrow is the 5th. And yes, so I think that's all I want to share for now. Actually, there's the week in planetary movement, the zodiacal or the planetary movements for this week. We have Mars moving into Sagittarius today. And then the 5th, we have our full moon 6th, the 7th, Venus, well, around the 6th, 7th. Around the 6th or the 7th, right? Let me look at my calendar. On the 6th, that was 7. Yes. November 6th. Late November 6th. Yeah. Venus moves into her exile, into exile or detriment in Scorpio on the 6th. Late on the 6th, 7th, if you're anywhere else. So let's move this in hours. There you go. Yeah, on the 6th, November 6th. And in the afternoon, evening hours on the West Coast, on the East Coast, and overseas is probably almost, probably is 7th already. Overseas. So on the 7th, 6th or 7th, yes. And the sun will make a trine to the north node. Mars sextiles Pluto. Mars making a sextile to Pluto. The moon moves into Gemini. Yep. Venus enters Scorpio. And the sun trines the north node. Yes. Okay. And then Mercury retrograde starts on the 10th. Night. No. On the 9th. Yes. Mercury retrograde starts on the 9th. Before that, on the 7th of November, Venus will square Pluto. Venus will eventually square Pluto on the 7th. So let's move this into days. The 7th, yeah, Venus squares Pluto. There you go. There's the square. Mars is still making a sextile to within orb. Yeah, within to Pluto. Mars and Pluto are in a sextile aspect to each other. On the 8th, the moon moves into Cancer. Here we are. Moon in Cancer on the 8th. And then the 9th, Mercury goes retrograde. And Saturn trines Black Moon Lilith. Interesting. On the 9th. And then on the 10th, the moon enters Leo. There's moon in Leo on the 10th, November 10th. So there's your week in review, in your weekly astro weather for this week. On November 4th to, yeah, the 10th. So there you go. Thanks for watching and take care, everyone. Big shifts are coming. All right. I'm Stephen the Jupiterian. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and post a comment if you like this video. And I'll see you in the next one as the tarot version. I'm going to be doing the tarot, pulling cards for the tarot on this week. See you then. Bye, everybody.